All right, today we are talking about the moon, but not the moon you think you know. We're diving into China's incredible missions that have just uncovered secrets from the far side, secrets that are changing everything. Let's get right into it. Think about it. For as long as we've existed, humanity has only ever seen one side of the moon. The other half, the far side, has been a total blank spot on the map, one of the solar system's biggest mysteries. Well, that has all changed, and what they found there is, frankly, revolutionary. So let's start with the big question, why? Why has half of the moon been hiding from us this whole time? Well, the answer is this really cool cosmic dance called tidal locking. It all comes down to this phenomenon, tidal locking. Basically, the moon spins on its axis at the exact same speed that it circles the Earth. It's this perfect, synchronized movement that means the same side is always facing us. This has kept the far side completely hidden from our view, and it's been the #1 barrier to exploring it. So you can imagine the challenge, right? How do you talk to a rover or a lander when there's an entire planet-sized rock in the way? China came up with an incredibly clever solution to crack this code. The problem is basically a giant wall in the sky. The sheer bulk of the moon blocks any and all radio signals from Earth. It creates total radio silence. It's literally like trying to have a cell phone conversation through a mountain. It just doesn't work. And the solution? It was brilliant. China launched a satellite called Chang'e and parked it in this really special spot in space behind the moon. From that unique vantage point, it acts like a celestial bridge, or a middleman. It can see the far side of the moon, and it can see Earth at the same time, relaying messages back and forth. Problem solved.
Okay, so the bridge is in place, communications are open. The Chang'e 4 mission then made history, becoming the first spacecraft to ever land on the far side. And what it found is forcing us to completely rewrite the story of the moon. All right, check this out. This is the first huge clue. The U-22 rover landed inside the massive von Karman crater and found something amazing: minerals like olivine and pyroxene. Now, these aren't just any old surface rocks. This is stuff from the moon's deep interior, its mantle, that got blasted to the surface by a gigantic asteroid impact ages ago.
So why is that a big deal? Because studying the moon's mantle is like opening a time capsule to our own planet's birth. The leading theory, called the Big Splash, suggests the moon was formed when a planet the size of Mars slammed into a baby Earth. So by analyzing the moon's guts, we're literally getting clues about our own origin story. But this is where the story gets really weird. For decades, the theory was that the far side of the moon should have cooled down way faster than the near side. Scientists were expecting to find only super ancient rocks there. Instead, they found the complete opposite. The far side somehow stayed hot and geologically active for way longer than anyone ever imagined. Just look at that number, 2.8 billion years old. Now, that sounds ancient to us, but for geology, that's surprisingly young, especially for that part of the moon. It's even younger than a lot of the rock we found on the near side. This discovery totally upends our models of how planets cool down. But these missions didn't just rewrite geology textbooks. Oh no. The follow-up mission, Chang'e 5, found actual resources, things that could kick off a new kind of lunar gold rush and literally change the future of humanity. So in 2020, scientists analyzing the samples brought back to Earth found something incredible, a brand new mineral they named Chang'e Y. It's this tiny, clear crystal, but it's what's locked inside it that is so important. Tucked inside this little crystal is helium-3. It's a special type of helium that's super rare on Earth. But the moon has been soaking it up from the sun's solar winds for billions of years. And why do we care? Because helium-3 is considered the perfect fuel for clean, safe, practically unlimited nuclear fusion energy. To really get a sense of the scale here, just look at this number. A tiny amount, 40 grams of helium-3, could generate the same amount of energy as 5,000 tons of coal. And the best part? No radioactive waste. And now look at this. The estimated amount on the moon is over 1 million tons. That is enough to power our entire planet for thousands of years. The moon just went from being a barren rock to maybe the most valuable piece of real estate in the solar system. And as if an unlimited energy source wasn't enough, they also found water, actual H2O. And as this quote says, it was found in the most unexpected place, not as ice in some dark crater, but chemically locked into minerals right out in the sunlight, on the side of a volcano.
This is a total game changer. For decades, the assumption was that any moon base had to be at the poles to mine for ice in the shadows. But if water is actually widespread across the surface, locked in the rocks, well, that means you could potentially set up a base almost anywhere. The entire moon just opened up for settlement. Now, these discoveries aren't just happening in a scientific bubble. They are absolutely setting the stage for a new space race in the 21st century, but this time, it's not about flags and footprints, it's about resources and strategic dominance.
I love this quote because it puts everything in perspective. For 50 years, everything we thought we knew about the moon was based on exploring a total area smaller than Disney World. We barely scratched the surface. China's now filling in those enormous gaps in our knowledge, and they're doing it fast.
And this timeline really shows you what's at stake. China has this very methodical, step-by-step plan to map resources and even test things like 3D printing a base using moon dust. At the same time, NASA's Artemis program has hit some delays. This could give China a really critical head start in this new race.
So the ultimate takeaway here is simple, but it is so profound. The moon is not the dead, gray, boring rock we thought it was. It's a dynamic, complex world, and it holds the resources that could literally power our future.
And that leaves us with this final massive question. The far side is no longer a mystery. It's a frontier. So as we push into this new era, who will lead the way? Who will control the resources that are going to define the next 100 years? The race is on.